What's up? Welcome to the Smiling In podcast, where I'm trying to get my friends to say a secret word or phrase. Unbeknownst to them. Is that the right use of that word? Unbeknownst? Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. They have no idea that that's what I'm trying to do. So I've got 9 different episodes that I pre-recorded, 9 different guests, and they're all very suspicious of me. So have fun listening and trying to figure out what I'm trying to get them to say, and have a great day. What's going on in Tom World?
Oh, that is a great question. Well, I'm currently actually moving out of my accommodation. That's the main thing that's going on right now. Been at university the whole year, and I'm currently actually moving out. I've packed most of my shit up besides my computer, obviously for this. In a couple of days' time, I'll be out of this dump, which will be good. It's kind of I think it's good. It's good. It's my first experience really of moving out of my own place, and it's weirdly I'm actually going to miss it. I didn't think I would, but
Are you in your first year of uni?
Yeah, first year. So I'm going into second year next year. I'm going to have to be living with even worse people, my friends, which is somehow worse than just random people. I fear, most definitely.
So when you say you're going home, you're not like moving back to live with your parents until the next school year.
So I'm just going home to my parents. I'll be home for summer basically. I'll just be home for summer until September, and then I'm gonna move for next year. But yeah, it's just a summer break really. I'm home for. Yeah, that's it should be interesting. It's definitely a new experience, the whole moving process. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of hassle. Has to be done.
No,
though,
it totally is. I mean, because I've moved out, let's see. I moved out the first time was I went to college, then I came back, and then I moved into my own apartment. And then I came back, and then I moved into a house, and then I came back, and that is where we are. But between all of those, like, moving out and moving back in, a lot of my stuff is still in the garage, and a lot of my stuff is, like, buried underneath other stuff in the garage. So, like, I feel like I don't have all of my belongings all at once.
Yeah. I think that everyone has that at some point. You know, it's not, logistically, it's impossible to keep everything where you'd like it to be, or have everything with you at the same time. It's just like I hate dealing with this shit. It's kind of the first steps I'm taking into like adult shit, and it's already a ball ache. I cannot be asked. I wanna finish with it already. I wanna stop it.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you. I'm sure I'm sure I'll be fine for when I actually have to do proper stuff like paying tax or something.
You don't have to pay taxes right now?
Probably do. No, I'm a student, and so I don't think so, no. Maybe I do, and I'm committing a lot of illegal stuff right now, but I don't think so. I think not until I'm until I'm 21, maybe, even. It might be earlier than that, but I don't know.
I think here, like, in America, you don't have to do your taxes unless you have a job.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's if you're earning
an income.
And it's like a certain amount. There's like a threshold. So if you're working like a part-time job, I don't think it counts, but there is a threshold for paying tax properly, at least. That's going to be a ball ache, but fine, I guess.
If you get paid more than, I think, $600.
Yeah. $600 what?
Yeah.
Per month.
If one person were to pay you less than $600, then they don't have to claim taxes. So then I don't think you do either.
Right.
So if you got, like, let's say $500 from 12 different sources, I'm not sure if you still have to pay taxes on that.
Oh, surely you have to. Surely.
I'm not sure.
That makes no sense. It should just be a limit, like a number. But I guess there's people will say it should be a gradient as well. That's a whole thing, but yeah. That's crazy.
Are you going to keep up your social life when you move back at home?
That's a very good question. Well, obviously, all my friends from the names is essentially going to start fucking shit up because in the UK, college is the last 2 years of high school, and then university is what Americans would call college. So
Mhm.
when I was in what I would call college, I made a lot of friends there. I still speak to them regularly because I will see them every time I go home for the Christmas or Easter or whenever it is. So my social life, I kind of have two social lives now. I guess I've got my university social life with my uni friends, and then I can come back home and be a lot more annoying, a lot more immature, a lot more stupid around my college friends because that's just the kind of I'm almost two different people at this point, I'd imagine. But I feel like everyone is that way to a degree. I feel like I behave differently around different groups of friends, even my family and stuff. I behave completely differently.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's everybody.
Yeah, it's
But
kind
like,
of
do your two separate like friend groups like to do the same things? Like, because I know right now you're staying out until like the sun comes out, like every single night.
Yeah. Basically, they both do. My friends group from college. I sort of had to coax them into it. I coaxed them into, going out later and later and going to the clubs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I started suggesting it, and then we slowly moved to it, and then my uni friends. Once you're at uni, you can sort of almost pick and choose your friends based on like what activities you go and do. If you can go do like some fucking sports club or something, and then you'll meet people with similar interests. My idea of that was just going to the club, literally on my own. I would just go to the club on my own, and I would just meet random people at the club who, well, I guess like me because they were out, to be going to the club, and that's how I sort of built my uni friends group. So they're all very, very much the same type of people. My course is computing, so not many people on my course are going to be out that late because computing isn't exactly the most, I don't know the word, the most social of activities.
Yeah. It's a solo job basically.
Yeah,
Unless you're
everyone's
sharing
a
a
bit of a
project
nerd.
with somebody.
Yeah, that's true. The projects were a big part of it, but yeah, everyone's mostly a nerd. They don't want to go out. I don't get it. You're a student. You have no responsibilities, literally none. So why not just go out till as late as possible and wake up at 5 p.m. What's the worst that can happen?
I mean, there are definitely bad things that can happen, but I get what you're saying.
I have nothing to attend to. There's no, besides making sure my kitchen and my room is clean, so I get my deposit back at the end of the year. There's not much I have to actually worry about at all, as long as everything's basically in order. And I think that it's pretty easy to stay organised as long as that's like something that remains in your mind. But I don't know. I just think at least in the position I'm in, I don't have any real sort of commitments. I don't have a part-time job. I don't have anything like that. So it's just, I don't know, it seems fine for me. But I guess it also depends who you are and like how much you care about I guess seeing the sun ever.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost like you're a vampire.
Almost. It's not too bad. I think Americans just go to sleep earlier, from what I gather, than British people do. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, because there is a nightlife here, but I don't think as many people, I don't know, live that lifestyle.
Well, it's also that age group, isn't it? Like, I feel like I'm at the, like, as a 19-year-old, it's pretty easy to do that sort of stuff. But as soon as you're in like your early 20s, it starts to become, you probably get a bit bored of it, I imagine.
Well, yeah. Plus, you start to have much worse hangovers, like right after you turn 23.
Well, I've had some awful hangovers already, but I don't think I've had any. Well, I've had some catastrophic ones, But
Well, how would you describe a catastrophic hangover?
the first time I ever blacked out will probably be the worst one I ever had. It was at a
Oh, wow.
friend's house, and I think I was 17, so I wasn't allowed to drink at that time legally, but everyone was doing it because in the UK, I mean, I'm sure in America, if you go to uni, a lot of people are doing it underage, but here,
Hmm.
everyone, basically everyone over the age of 16 is drinking at some point, even if it's just like one beer or one can of cider or whatever. So we all went to my friend's house. He has just this massive house, and everyone went over. It was around Christmas time, so we were on break, and yeah, I just got really drunk. I think what happened was there was a bottle of vodka, and we were just shouting like the one or two Russian words we knew. In other words, just a load of Russian slurs, basically. And every time we do it, we take a shot. And I just thought this was really funny, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll just keep doing this for about an hour or two." And eventually, yeah, I'd completely blacked out. Um, and I woke up in the morning. Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck happened?" I was actually quite angry. I don't know if this is probably what a lot of people feel, but when you wake up from a hangover, the first emotion I always have, or the first emotion I always have from waking up from any night out is just anger. Like, either I've missed a huge portion of the day, or if I blacked out, I'm especially angry because I'm like, I just missed the party. Basically, I wasn't there.
Hmm.
But yeah, the hangover itself was it was something. It was definitely something. The hangover. I left the party. It was snowing. It was snowing. I left in the morning. I'd my friend whose house it was. He dragged me into bed. So I woke up completely, like my head was just splitting. I thought I was properly ill. My trousers were not on, so that was an instant like, what the fuck has happened here? So I asked my friend. The first thing I asked him was what happened last night. He's like, "Oh, you just got completely wasted." Second question, where are my trousers? He's like, "Oh, they're in the washing machine. You just vomited all over them." I was like, "Oh, this is bad.
Oh,
This is
no.
really bad." Um, and essentially what happened was, yeah, I'd at some point I gotten wasted. I'd gone into the shower, like the house's shower, with my jeans on and nothing else, and just yeah, for some reason started having a shower, which everyone got a bit. Then I don't remember any of this. And anyway, yeah, he gives my trousers back. They're completely soaking wet. Gives my hoodie back, which is also soaked, completely soaking wet, because they've been in the washing machine. I'm like, right, well, I guess thanks. I'm gonna go now. I leave, and it's snowing, and that is the worst. Snow is probably the worst weather I've experienced for a hangover, and I basically couldn't look. When I was walking home, I couldn't look ahead of me. I had to look at the ground,
Right.
because I just felt, I don't know, it's kind of a weird experience, but if I'd have tilted my head up like 90 degrees, I'm certain I would have vomited just everywhere.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I got home, my mum was like, "Why are your clothes wet?" I was like, "Oh, well, I had to walk through the snow." Yeah, I don't know how I got away with that. I had to walk through the snow. My clothes are soaking wet as if they'd been dropped in a pond. They just completely, you could wring them out and get liquid out of them. And for some reason,
Yeah.
that I got away with that. But yeah, that was probably the worst hangover I ever had, because I couldn't even, I couldn't survive that. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Do
I
you
think
have, like, dryers to dry your clothes in the UK?
yeah, not everyone has a tumble dryer. I think it's not like a common thing. I don't have one in my house at my parents' house. We don't have one.
Hmm.
Neither do. Well, neither did this person. He has a massive house. He doesn't have a tumble dryer, or maybe he just didn't have time to do it because it takes like 15 minutes. It's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't really have. No, I don't know why we don't have that. I think it's because we don't have like specific washing rooms. Like, I know in America, a lot of houses have their own room which has like the washing machine and the tumble dryer in it.
Kind of. I know a lot of houses do, like more upper middle class houses, I
Right.
guess. But my house has, like, we have the washer and dryer, and it's kind of like in a half hallway that
Right.
connects the living room upstairs to the bedroom area. And
Oh, right.
there's like a sliding door in front of it.
Oh, uh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think for us, the majority of houses, the washing machine will be in the kitchen, just like next to the. Well, I don't even have a dishwasher in my house, but next to the dishwasher or like a low fridge or whatever it might be.
All right, sorry for the little break there.
Yeah.
We had to stop recording and start again
Well,
a few days
yeah.
later. So here we are, we're
Quite a
back.
few days later. It may feel like only a few seconds, but that was probably almost a week. I would say. I don't know.
Um, yeah, what we started trying to record on let's see, last Thursday, and now it's been 6 days.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Pretty wild. But
So what's been going on the last 6 days?
well, I've moved. I moved, so I'm back home. I'm back at my family home, which has been an ordeal. I'll say that much. It's been a bit of an ordeal, but I've got working internet. Everything's set up, and that's the main thing. As long as everything's set up, you know, that's that's half the mission, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and you had to buy a new desk
Yeah.
at IKEA earlier.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other story. Yeah, just basically when I moved out for uni, everyone in my like all my stuff at my family home just sort of got tipped, and so now I've had to just sort of rebuy a lot of stuff, which isn't great, but they're slowly phasing me out. You know, I'm no longer welcome in the family home. That's how I see it. But
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
When I moved out, my dad turned my bedroom into his home office.
Oh, that's a classic one. That's a proper classic story. You always hear that one.
Yeah, because he works from home, so he needed a little area for himself. So that's what he did with my bedroom.
Right. Yeah, that is frustrating. But I guess at the end of the day, if it's not being used, might as well. But yeah.
True. I mean, and technically, I used both this bedroom and the other guest bedroom as my bedrooms at one point.
Oh well, that's just not
So-
even. That's just insane. Why?
I know. Well, there was a time where like the bedroom I was using was just really messy,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to do all my laundry. I didn't want to put everything away, so I just started sleeping in a different bedroom.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah, I get it. But still, you should. That's like so much less convenient having two rooms instead of one.
I know.
Jeez.
I just had too much stuff, but I mean, I think well, I can't say that I've gotten better. I really haven't, but yeah, now I just have the whole house cuz like I moved out, and then my parents they needed me to move back in
Right.
so that they could move out and go live with my grandfather. So it's just me in this 3-bedroom, 2-story house all by myself.
Yeah.
Now just got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and everyone says they're gonna clean up and like, what's the term? Like Marie Kondo the whole house.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's such a non-thing. I guess every student is basically doing that anyway, because if you're a student, you don't have much shit. You know, you've got you've got a very small amount of stuff anyway. But I think I don't. I mean, I don't even understand that whole thing. I guess that's just one of those things everyone says they're gonna do and nobody ever actually does.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I've been really trying lately.
yeah, but you have so many more important chores. You know what I mean? Like there's so many chores that come before. Oh, I've got to organize everything. You know, there's like actual real life stuff you got to do before you can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, and it can get frustrating because it's like I'm super lucky that my dad pays someone to come mow our lawn every couple of weeks. because I I wouldn't have any idea how to even do that.
How to use a lawnmower. It's a pretty.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I'm sure I could figure it
it's
out,
pretty
but like,
intuitive. A lawnmower.
yeah, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I've never done it before.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It.
And it's never like been something that I think about. So it's nice that I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because it is. There are certain chores like that where you just feel like, oh, I don't want to have to ever do this.
Yeah.
Like this whole year I didn't. I mean, like I can iron, but it's just I can't be bothered to iron and ever like iron my clothes ever. So
Mhm.
yeah, like while I wasn't at home, I would just I didn't iron anything ever. Like I just could not be bothered, whatsoever.
I use my ironing board as a place to put things on top of.
Oh well, that is like quite. That's worse. That's a lot worse.
I know, it's really bad.
That's now. Oh my god. Shit. Sorry. Yeah. That's given me such a vivid image in my mind of just. Oh no! Come on! You can't do that. Just
Yeah.
fold up the ironing board.
I know.
Put it away. Put it somewhere.
I should.
And just.
But it's so convenient to just put things on top of it.
Yeah, so's a coffee table, and it looks a lot nicer and isn't a fucking ironing board. Like Jesus Christ, an ironing board. And you're using it as like a table essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. I mean, I keep it in my bathroom, so it's not like out in the open.
Right. And then what can you? I mean, there's a lot now. Now I'm questioning what you're storing on it. What sort of stuff goes on the ironing board?
Clothes, shoes.
Uh,
I just got a whole pile of stuff on it right now. It's just a mixture of like clothes, shoes. There's a bag filled with like makeup stuff.
okay. I was just thinking if that's. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know what you could have said that I would have been like, oh no, that's bad. I guess like anything food related, you know, seeing as it's in your bathroom, so you don't. Then I would be a bit like, okay, that's gross. If you just had like plates, I'll be like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, no. I take all my plates downstairs.
Good. I mean that is, you know, very basic. I yeah. Okay. Okay. Holy shit. Fucking A. That's yeah, that's interesting. I don't think there's a much Marie Kondoing you can actually do at that point.
Well, I don't know. I've lost a lot of weight over the last I guess it's almost been a whole year now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my clothes don't fit me anymore.
Oh.
So I know I've been like struggling with finding things that don't look like they're way too big for me, and I've been trying my very best to go through everything and set aside things that don't fit me anymore. But it's just frustrating because I don't have the money to buy a whole new wardrobe of clothes that do fit me. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like stuck in this weird limbo.
Well, it's a good problem to have. I'll admit it's a pretty good problem. If your problem is that, you know, you've lost enough weight where now your previous clothes don't fit, there's definitely a lot worse problems to have.
Yeah, you're right.
Because fucking A, I mean, I guess getting too big for your clothes would be a lot worse.
No, yeah, that would definitely be worse. Unless I'm doing that on purpose, like trying to get yoked, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if that's that's the difference, like gender wise. I guess if that was me, then definitely it would be the other way around. Like I would definitely be trying to get too big, but even then, I don't think I would, because then, at least then, that's kind of the whole point. The whole reason you get big, you know, is so that your clothes just fit better. Not actually, but
Yeah.
the actual reason is, oh, there's so many reasons. I mean, there's the fuckboy reason, and then there's like the I want to be healthy, which is the bullshit reason you tell everyone.
Yeah.
the disguise. But yeah, definitely like just trying to make my clothes fit better, so I just look nicer when I'm just walking around. I'm just confident. I want the supreme confidence. That's the goal.
That's a good goal. That's a good way to put it. Like I'm just trying to attain some confidence.
Yeah, yeah. That's just confidence. Lots of confidence.
Sure.
Definitely.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you on my podcast is who's your favorite football team?
Oh, that's a good question. So I support Chelsea FC. And wait, unless you're talking about American football, because I have no, that is now I'm so lost. I mean, I don't think I even know. Do I know one? The Patriots? That's the team?
Yeah, that's a football
There
team.
you go, the Patriots. You can have that.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't talking about your kind of football.
The good kind.
The good kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. That's so not my world. American football. Like I know very little about it. You know, I think I do not understand the rules. Definitely no, do not understand the rules whatsoever. I know the very basic rules. Like the aim of the game is to you score touchdown on the other end, and or you can like boot it over the whatever that thing is. The fucking what's that? What's the word for it? I'm trying to remember what they call it in rugby. I can't remember.
I think it's called I don't remember what that thing's called.
Yeah, I should know that because I used to. Well, I'm somewhat familiar with rugby because that's sort of the version, but I don't remember what they called it in that. But yeah, basically, so I know that's the main idea, but they keep stopping the game every fucking like 30 seconds. Like someone drops a ball and all of a sudden they have to like reset. And at that point, I'm just like, no, this is fucking stupid. What? Just pick it up and keep running. Like why? It just grinds it to a complete standstill. I can't do it. I can't.
Did they not do that in your football?
No, not really. There's probably a stoppage. I would say. I mean, it's obviously a lot more low scoring. That's sort of the whole joke with proper football, is it's like they'll score like 5 points. There'll be like 5 goals scored in total in like a 90-minute game, but a stoppage will be like once every 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, and it's normally if somebody's because it's a non-contact sport, so it's normally for like somebody's been fouled or something like that, or there's a few like slightly more complex rules, but they're not too difficult. But so it's not as bad. It's definitely not as bad. And it's not like there's this seemingly this hard reset every like couple of minutes. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen a full game of American football to know. But that's what it seems to be.
Yeah, no, they definitely like stop pretty often. Like if there's 2 minutes left on the clock, then it's probably going to be another like 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, well they have. I mean, everything has stoppage time. Like every game seems to have it. Maybe not. I don't know. Does basketball have a stoppage time?
They'll do timeouts.
Oh right.
And I'm trying to think because I actually haven't watched basketball in a really long time.
Because you always see like the timer's ticking down and somebody scores the final hoop or whatever it is, and it's like the game winning. But then I'm not sure if that's just on top because the extra time in football is just a joke. Like it's so flexible. If a team is like going to score, then the referee just won't blow his whistle even if the time's up. Like he'll give them an extra 30 seconds or like minute to score. Which is a bit insane because, especially when it's so low scoring, it just means that team can easily overtake right at the end. But that's the suspense. Oh shit! I keep knocking my desk. it's new, so I have to learn not to keep bashing into it.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I actually don't.
You don't?
I don't really know a whole lot about soccer. So.
It's not. That's to be expected. To be honest, it's like you know, how's an American really gonna know that much about it?
I mean, it's definitely a big sport that's played here, but it's not as big as football and
Basketball and all that stuff.
yeah, basketball, even baseball is more.
That's another one. I know the rules of baseball to a very fundamental level, but I mean that just seems like a fucking so boring. I could not watch. I don't think I could watch a game of that. Basketball is probably the one I can tolerate the most because there's a lot less fuckery. But at the same time, even then, there's loads of complicated rules, and people are always bringing up some shit, and you're like, I don't even know what that people are talking about. There's so much jargon. But I think that's true for most sports, I'd imagine. But definitely, in the US, it seems like it's the main problem is all the actual good football you'd want to watch, which is all European, it's on at like 7 a.m. in the US. That's when it's played, and so it's not viable to watch that really. And I think that's the real problem. The reason why the American audience isn't as big as it could be, but there's not much we could do about that without making our games impossibly late at night.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit but I definitely think football is. I don't know, because the thing is, it's like perspective. It's a perspective thing. Someone from America will probably say American football or basketball is the easiest to learn. That's what they'd assume.
Yeah.
But I would assume football or rugby would be easier. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure. You know, there's no way of actually telling because I don't think anyone knows enough about all the sports to know. I don't know. It's a bit odd.
Yeah, maybe. Unless you're like a sports news caster or something like that, like on telly.
We had a cut.
Yes.
Another one.
We're back. We figured it out.
It's these are the wonders of technology, you know. It never works how you want it to. Never.
No, it doesn't.
Should have just done Skype from the get-go.
So far, in all of these episodes I've recorded, the only two that we were able to record straight through the whole hour was Derek and Maggie.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's just there's probably a lot better ways of doing this, I imagine. I'm trying to think what would be easier. I don't know. It is just a bit difficult, isn't it, to do it over the internet?
Well, even if you're sitting in the same room with each other, you still have to have two separate mics for two separate audio tracks. So you can edit everyone individually. So I think it would still be just as
difficult,
as complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only hindrance here is internet connection.
Yeah, and that's good. That's obviously worse because this is international. Are you doing it with anyone else from like proper far?
The only other person that's in another country that I'm recording with is Senem in Canada.
Oh well, that doesn't even count really. It kind of does because like the north and south, it's quite a far distance from where you are to Canada. But it's still like, I mean, this is definitely the furthest one, which means something. I don't know what it means, but I think it just means that I'm the best, which was known anyway. It was known.
I think the only difference is that my only concern is that our call, the server that our call is based in is in the US.
Right. I don't think it will make a difference because, you know, as long as I can hear you, uh, my audio, it's not being recorded through Discord, so it's. I think it's fine. I think it'll be
Yeah,
fine. That's one.
exactly.
It's a bit fucky though. It's a bit fucky. That's the thing with setting up all this shit though. I don't know. Doing anything, you'd think it would be so much more convenient than it actually is. It always ends up being some bullshit, some fucking shit.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. We figure it out.
That's true. That's true.
I'm trying to think what else is going on.
Like in the world.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. What's been happening? What has been happening?
The Raptors won the championships.
That is a good one. That's a good one.
Drake released 2 new songs on Friday in celebration.
Yeah. And I've got to say, I've heard a total of 0 of those 2 songs.
I have as well. I haven't taken the time to listen to them either.
Oh, I hate that Drake is so involved. Did you see that clip of him in it's one of the finals games where he wasn't at the match? He was like in some at a live viewing of the match.
No.
Oh, it was the goofiest fucking shit. You know when I feel like when some people are watching sports and they know that other people are looking at them, they sort of overdo their reaction. He was kind of like acting it almost. He was just like some player. He thought a player was injured. He started pulling just the most ridiculous faces. I was like, no one can think this is real. I mean, it's so exaggerated. Nobody reacts like that, surely, to sports. I just don't. I can't fathom. Like, I know that, especially not just in front of this. It's just because it was in front of camera. I don't know. It was so awful. It's such a shit. It was just so shitty. Fucking Drake, man. He needs to just get out. When he's like dancing around on
the funniest tweet I saw about Drake being so involved with the Raptors was somebody said, like, man, I ain't seen Drake bring his kid to any of these games.
That's so true. The thing with Drake's kid is, do we know who that is? Does anyone have? Is it been confirmed? What's going on with that?
I don't think so. I mean, I know I have absolutely no idea. I think his baby mama has been confirmed, but still no pictures of the kid or anything like that, which is reasonable. I mean, I think it's weird to demand pictures of someone's child in the first place, but I mean,
I think it's a little bit odd, I've got to say. I understand that sort of, keeping them out of the public eye. Drake is so massive, like the most famous celebrity, that it's the best thing to do, just to keep him out of the public eye. But at the end of the day, I just think it's a bit I don't know if it's a bit creepy almost. I don't know, there's something about the fact he just hid it all, and he didn't even say I have a child.
Yeah,
he just said nothing about it.
I think it's a lose-lose situation with celebrities like that. Like, if they don't want their kids out in the spotlight, I mean, you're the bad guy for keeping your kid a secret, but then you're also the bad guy for putting them in that position, or and then as soon as you do tell the media that you have a kid, then everyone's hunting for a photo, because the first person who gets one is making a lot of money off of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially when you're as big as Drake.
Yeah.
He's just so big.
I mean, every time Kim has another baby, the paparazzi hound her.
That's true. That's true.
And they get so aggressive. I just happened to be watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I think it was
bad form.
It was her first kid, North. She was pregnant with North, and she was trying to get into her house, and the garage door wasn't opening, or the gate door wasn't opening, and the paparazzi were trying so hard to get a photo of her pregnant, and she was not letting them take a photo, and one of them literally said to her, if you don't let us take a photo of you, you're making your life so much harder.
That is fucked. That's so fucked.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah. It is. I think you sort of sign your life away though when you choose to become a massive celebrity like that. In a weird way, you're sort of, you're giving away your privacy. That's like one of the things you have to. It's not an ideal job, like everyone makes it out to be. Being this like massive celebrity, there's definitely downsides, and I think that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's not ideal. It's not ideal to be that famous. I think, but yeah,
Yeah.
that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be happening. I think that's also it says a lot about the sort of culture. The well, I've described it in the past as the pop culture, but that's my my less offensive way of saying like the white girl, like there's that whole L.A. white girl, like just the basic, all that sort of reality TV, fucking Kardashians, Love Island, just the whole everything like that, Ah, I don't subscribe to that sort of content, that sort of
Yeah.
and that lifestyle. I just think is, I mean, even going as far as, well, I guess people can like what they want and it's their own thing, but it's such a everything's just trash in that, like everything in that whole, oh yeah, fucking white, like even just like, who cares about what some fucking pop singers, like who they're dating. I don't give a fuck. But
Right.
maybe it's just that's just kind of not my scene, I guess would be the way to put it. But yeah, I don't know. And I think that whole culture is just so trash, and everyone's so quick to turn on each other and stuff like that, that you do end up with like these really bad side effects. Things like you just mentioned with Kim Kardashian getting like swarmed.
Mhm.
It's just like this awful side effect of like everyone needs new information every like few minutes. Like you're
Right,
constantly checking
exactly.
for
I mean,
news.
I get like keeping up with celebrities just so that you can, cuz it's fun like at the office to like talk to your coworkers like, "Did you hear J-Lo is blah blah blah?" And it's like they know about it too. So then you connect on this thing, and then but I feel like there's people who like take it too far and like need to know who J-Lo is blah blah blah, and it's then it gets a
Yeah,
little weird for me.
it does get. It is a little bit sort of. Again, it's a bit sort of invasive, a bit sort of creepy, I think.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes, and back to the like sort of with the whole Drake stuff, how like he's got so many eyes on him at the moment that if he does one sort of thing, everyone's gonna know about it. And I was actually thinking recently, so there was the whole stuff about his kid getting revealed, which was, when was that? The Pusha T thing. He like beefed Pusha T. His Pusha T leaked that he had his son, and then literally a few weeks later, or maybe a month or two later, I don't remember. Oh, maybe it was ages later. Oh no! Now I've got the whole. I think I have the whole timeline fucked up. When was the whole stuff with like Millie Bobby Brown?
I think that
Way later, wasn't it? It was like probably a whole year later.
was it, or was it before? I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know the timeline either, but I know about the Millie Bobby Brown stuff.
it all starts to add up. He's hiding his kid. He's texting underage girls, and then
I
it's
don't know.
like this
Because
guy
I
is gonna
don't,
get R. Kelly'd like very soon.
I mean, I take a lot of stuff in the media with a grain of salt. So,
That's
like,
true.
if they're saying that he's being a pedophile and texting Millie Bobby Brown, I'm like, is he really? Like, unless Millie Bobby Brown says herself, like, yeah, he's creeping me out, um, he's definitely acting like a pedophile, then I'll be like, okay, well,
Yeah,
sure.
and also she's like, was she like 15? At that
Um, I think so.
so at that age, like she'll know, she can like distinguish between somebody messaging her in a creepy way and somebody messaging her in a normal way. I think at
Yeah,
that age.
but also as a 15-year-old who's pretty new to the spotlight for a child star, I mean, like if it was me, I'd be like, "Oh shit, Drake is texting me. This is so cool." You know? So maybe she's not thought about it, or maybe she just genuinely doesn't think it's creepy, but I don't think I've seen anything straight from her saying, yeah, this is creepy, he's weird.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she said, I think she just confirmed that he texted her, and it was like it wasn't anything inherently weird, but it's just a bit odd. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good, definitely not a good PR decision to
Yeah.
text underage girls out of the blue, like, and it was like some pretty weird stuff, like, oh, what I don't want to say anything now because I know it's going to be complete, like, it's not going to be correct, whatever I say, but it was something that you. It was definitely poorly worded enough where you could be like, okay, that's fucking creepy, like.
Yeah.
And then there's also, it was when that was revealed, it sort of brought back, there was all this stuff from the past where like there was like some underage girl he brought up on stage.
Mm-hmm.
He asked her age. She she said she was like 17, and then he sort of just he was like, oh damn, but then he like he didn't stop. He was still like, was whining on the girl, which is a little bit creepy. That is a little bit creepy.
Maybe
But again,
a little.
it's also the other stuff with that is like I don't know the context. Maybe it was in a particular region where 17 is the legal age or above the legal age of consent. So
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
don't think it really matters too much what the legal age of consent is. I think it's just a moral thing at that point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because people will draw the line at a different point. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Drake.
I don't know. I know when I was in high school, one of my friends, who was also in high school, was at the airport and she met Usher.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, Usher was trying to like get her number, take her out sometime, like wouldn't leave her alone. And her mom had to be like, no, my daughter is not
Oh my.
texting with you or she's not talking to you. She's underage. You need to leave her alone. And I was
Holy
like, whoa,
shit.
that's so badass of your mom to like stand up to Usher like that.
Yeah, that sounds like she was the opposite of those fucking Neverland parents who were like
Yeah.
literally doing the opposite, trying to get involved with Michael Jackson for that.
Yeah.
I definitely think that is odd. That's very odd.
I
Usher.
mean, at the same time, like, I was like, but I'm really jealous. I wish
Yeah,
I met Usher at the airport and he hit on me.
yeah, and I think well, fair enough. It's always the R&B ones as well. Oh, hang on. Okay, yeah. My screen went back for a second there, but I fixed it and I didn't press space, so
Okay, so it's still recording.
we didn't fuck the recording up this time.
Okay. I'll
But
just cut out that part.
yeah, okay. Yeah, it's always the R&B. It's always the R&B guys that are the creepiest. Like every single time, it's always R. Kelly, Usher, Drake. I don't know anyone. I think it just comes with the genre. Like you're just saying some very nasty stuff a lot of the time. In that,
Well, didn't Michael Jackson discover Usher? Or I know they had some kind of connection where I think maybe MJ taught Usher how to dance or something like that. So
yeah,
they were more than just acquaintances.
more than just friends. Maybe it's another Neverland story. You
That
never
would be
know.
weird. And then Usher discovered Bieber, kind of, didn't he?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I
I
thought
don't know.
the internet did. Wasn't that a thing? Like he just used to post videos and then.
Yeah, he started on YouTube, but I thought I remembered hearing something like he was Usher's protege.
That's interesting. That's all weird. I mean, there was that whole saga when Bieber was in his late teens and he was just being a complete moron. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. That was also, but I think maybe it's just a fame thing in general. Then just like everyone, if you're that famous as like all those people, you're bound to be fucked up in some way, possibly. Because everyone who seems to be that famous, there's always some shit that gets revealed, or maybe it's just everyone on Earth. Because I have definitely stuff that, I wouldn't want revealed to the world if I became that famous. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Is that, oh yeah, just a few people who, I murdered and buried, and they're somewhere. There's some dead body somewhere. That's like, maybe that's true, or maybe that's just a joke. I don't know, but
I always think about, like, if I were to get famous tomorrow, what dirt would people dig up on me?
Exactly. And you've probably said something at a point during even one of the discords we're in. You've probably said something at some point which, if taken out of context, could be like one of those things that ruins people's careers,
Oh, absolutely. Actually, Ahmad and I were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Remember when I got put in timeout because I made a joke about, let me find it. What did I say? I said, and it would totally be offensive if I weren't Indian. And it's definitely just a joke, but let me find it.
This is great. This is great podcast material. You sitting looking for something, and I'll just sit in complete silence until you find it.
That's just fine. I'll find it real fast. Okay, I found it.
Okay, good.
I said, Ahmad called me a kufi-licking, bindi-wearing, curry-stinking, bloody imbecile and told me to go drink piss from the Ganges.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Which he didn't say to me, but
you just made it up.
Yeah, I totally made it up because it was so funny, and we were joking about him saying that he hates brown women, and I was like, yeah, he hates brown women so much, listen to what he said to me. And
that is disgusting.
Yeah, I got put in timeout, but someone could definitely, probably not in the server that I set it in.
You can make a comment about anything. I've said a lot of awful shit online. I just know I have. It's not even worth. There's so much shit I've said, and it's kind of even in just even like the most casual stuff that is like slightly offensive,
Mhm.
You drop a little F-bomb and that's it, game over. You get kind of like Kevin Hart, I'll never host the what was that, the Oscars or the Golden Globes or the Grammys? I think
it was the Oscars.
Yeah, see, I can never host it because if even just dropping a little bomb and everything's gone. But yeah. You just say the wrong word and it's all over for you, man. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
Is there anything you want to plug during this episode?
Oh, yeah. I'll just follow me. Actually, no, fuck it. Nah.
You don't want anyone to follow you on Twitter?
No, it's not good. It's not worth following. Yeah, it's really not. It's shit. There's nothing I've created that is good enough to be shared with the world. So.
Aw, Tom.
So we'll save it. No, that's just accurate. I feel like until I've created some masterpieces, I'll just say look out for the future.
Okay.
You'll see, and I'll be and my name will be, I'll have a big name unless I have to change it. I have to have a stage name.
Well, I'll tell you what the point of the podcast was, and I'll tell you right now, I was not successful. I did not win this one. So for a while there, I was trying to get you to say the word soccer.
Oh, interesting. I was very close as well.
You were really close. I could feel it. I was like, oh, he's about to say it.
I was really considering saying it. Yeah. Oh, well, that's interesting. Fair enough. Um,
Yeah, I was trying to get you to say soccer, and I gave up after trying a couple times, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I
I've
can't think of any other ways to get him to say soccer.
I've also did. What if I said it in the first bit we recorded 6 days ago?
Uh, I don't. No, you definitely didn't.
Oh, well then there you go. I won. I
You won.
I won. I'm victorious.
You did. You didn't say the word that I was trying to bait you to say.
Very good. I'm glad. I'm glad I won the game without even knowing I was playing it.
I know. That's yeah, that was the whole thing. That's the thing that I wouldn't tell anybody about, was that I was just trying and get you guys to say secret words.
Oh right. So has anyone, lost?
Um, well, as of now, my score is 2-1 and 3 lost.
Oh, that's not actually that's bad form. I thought you'd be
I
doing
know. I know. Well, before this one, I was 50-50, and now
good. Yes.
what is
Very
it,
good.
60-40?
Okay. Okay. Well, it's fine. I'm sure. Good luck for you. Who have you got next? Is there anyone after
My
me?
next one's Melanie, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Do you have a
Yeah.
word? Do you have a word yet, or?
I'll tell you after we stop recording.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm
Only
excited.
because I don't know what order I'm gonna post these in.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Because I don't know. Because we started before, but now we're after. So I don't know. Well, now there's spoilers actually because you've said the ratio. So this has to go
Oh.
after um, everyone else who's been already.
No. No, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, oh yeah, yeah, it has to go after everyone that's already recorded now. I'm probably gonna post these in the order that I recorded them, but I guess we'll see.
Okay. Well, good. Very good.
You got anything else to say before we wrap up?
Um, let's think. Is there anything I've got to say before you wrap? No, there's nothing. You know what? Yeah, nothing. It's not even worth saying some stupid piece about. It's just no, nothing. It's done.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on my podcast then, Tom.
That's no problem. The pleasure was all mine.
All right. Bye.